Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Factorio. Very excited to get back in here. Figured I would spend a moment here to get anybody caught up who may have missed out on some of the earlier stuff. So this is my sort of ancient mining array, which has largely been abandoned. The only thing I have still here is the laboratory, which I've been using to research things. But I'm currently in the process of creating a grand factory scheme right over here, where I will be mass producing all manner of goods and services. Not so much on the services, but definitely on the goods. And you can see I have my mining arrays here. Mining quite a large amount of coal, which is actually starting to get a little dry here. The coal is being split into different areas. All of these different ores and such are being filtered through the system to be smelted, and the smelted finishing products are being sent up here to be processed into subproducts as I so need them. So let's see about getting some more sciencing done. And in the interest of sciencing, we actually just last time unlocked some assembly machine 2s, which are needed because not only are they faster, but they actually allow for a higher amount of ingredients to be pulled, which is very important, as I do indeed require more ingredients for the crafts for these higher tier items. These are going to be set up to create inserters, which are a vital component for science packs, as well as they're just really darn handy to have around. So I'm going to try to get these set up properly. I don't think I can really do this in a truly symmetrical way, so I'm going to have to do something kind of weird like this. See how I'm staggering them? And I should be able to do the same thing over this way, where I pull from here, here, and then here. And that should work. All I believe I have to do is go under each of these two right here, and that should work. This should allow me to pull the ingredients from each side completely evenly to produce this lovely product. And I don't think I really have to do much else than that, other than just work on getting an output for it, which sometimes is easier said than done. Let's get some power set up there. You can see it's loading in the materials very quickly. Does this need actually... Okay, so it is a 1-to-1 ratio, I believe. So why did it not pull any further? Well, I guess it was just loading those. Ah, I see. So this is kind of interesting. So each of these is going to have a different bottleneck, because... Actually, you know what? I wonder. Are regular inserters the same speed as long inserters? Because in this rare case, that may actually be something that works to my advantage. No, they are actually slower, so that's kind of awkward. Ugh. I may need to have all of these set up as long inserters in order to pull these evenly. I mean, I guess they're... Okay, so here's, I guess, my logic. Even though they're going to be pulling slightly unevenly from each of these sides, they're both pulling the chips here. They're both pulling the chips here from the center belt using a long inserter. There's disparity otherwise, but the bottleneck is always going to be at least the center. And this is a good thing. That's actually a good thing, because that's going to make things so much more organized. So I think we may be able to pull this off as is. Of course, every time I say something like that, it ends up not being so true, but the other nice thing about these is we may even be able to literally place these side by side. So let's see if we can't do that. Let's get a couple more long-handed inserters and fast inserters. And we will put these as they are so needed. Okay. And, oh, that needs to go even further. There we are. There we go. That should work, right? I think that should work. And power and power. And copy the recipes. Okay. Next thing I need to do is I need to actually get these ejecting their products properly. These are going to be a little different because this is... Oh, you know, actually this is not directly producing the science. I was thinking this was a science product. It is not. Because I wanted to have the science products not on the standard bus and instead separating off into their own bus. But I think I don't have really much of a choice in this matter right now. So I think these are going to have to be positioned and combined into the main bus over here. Let's see here. If I have both of these being evenly dropped from each of these, will that work? That may work. Let us divine. Let us take a moment to see if this will work. We're going to need a large amount of transport belts, which are right in front of my darn face, and I keep making them manually for some silly reason. This is why you made this factory setup, Sil, so you can do this sort of stuff. So if you need something, you can just grab it. The thing I'm worried about here is that these are not meeting up at exactly the same spot. So what I actually should probably do to rectify this is make them do just that, even if it looks really silly. So we are going to do just that. So let's see here. And this should hopefully help ensure completely even distribution of the usage of these products, as it should be. There we go. And now these are going to be tunneled under here. Oh, got that backwards. There we go. Always with them needing a million underground belts. Always. So there we go. I think we're good, right? It does seem, if I'm kind of looking at the center blocks, it does seem that they are being evenly taken from each side. I'm going to let this get completely filled up, just to be on the safe side. I'm going to extend this and see what happens. We should see near complete symmetry, if at all possible. Reasonably close. Reasonably close. Okay. If there's a little bit of a deviation, you know what? That's fine. So I think this is going to be the part where I actually create Science 1s and Science 2s. And what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to have the Science 1 and the Science 2 both on the same side. Like right here. I'll probably end up making some other sub-product in this area. I may even eventually make something like, not really sure. Am I taxing my electric grid? Boy, howdy am I. We are taxing that electric grid like a boss. I suppose a single set of these was never going to last forever, so I suppose it's time to expand our power grid. So let's see about that. We're going to need one of these, and 4 of those, and 3 of these. Have to temporarily black everything out here. So wait, why did I have... I have this splitting here for some reason. That is very strange. That should not be happening, I don't think. Yeah, I don't believe that's a thing that's necessary, so we're going to curve this slightly differently. This is going to be heading up. This is going to be heading forward. This is going to be here, feeding this line. Knowing my luck, there actually was some sort of a reason to have this splitter here. Oh, well, yeah, actually, the splitter was feeding both of those, but we can move that now. Okay, we're good. This can be switched over. And this, like here, will be underground. And this actually can go back one tile to there. And then we need... I don't like having my entire area being completely without power. That is not good. And it's kind of interesting. I remember a while back, I think I got attacked by some aliens, and I have not seen them since. That's kind of scary. Unless I am misunderstanding, which is possible. Let us get my water pump. And our... there they are. Boilers. Boop, 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 boop. Gonna need some pipes. Too much crap in my inventory. Pipes, pipes. There we go. Funneling some water in there. And these probably need some power as well. So we will do that. And then we need our 3 engines right here. Bam, bam, and bam. There we go. So now we have doubled our power output. Unfortunately, this means we may have doubled our alien aggression. It's probably going to be very soon that I'm going to need to make a fence of some sort. Let's check our map here. We haven't looked at our map in a while. We do have a nice little choke point there. You can actually already see the pollution expanding. Oh boy. We have a nice little choke point right there. So that'll be reasonably good to deal with. Up here, on the other hand, is quite massive. This is where we plan to expand our base anyway, so we've got to be mindful of that, to say the least. Oh, that's a problem. That's a problem that's been solved. Where's our next coal deposit? Ah, right up there. So that's going to require some extra movement. Oh wow, looks like we're actually starting to use a good chunk of these products here. We may need to increase our throughput. I guess we'll find out. Yes, does not seem like enough iron throughput for me. This may need to be increased, and I have kind of left myself in an inadequate way, in an adequate place to do this. That's a little embarrassing. We can get it figured out, though. It makes me wonder if this is also not even. Because as you can see, it's... yeah, you can see this one's not even getting the products delivered correctly. Yeah, it's like that's too quick. The input of the iron is too quick. So I'm going to have to rethink some of these earlier ones. Quite possibly. Yeah. Quite possibly may need to rethink some of these. Since I sort of came into this little snaky configuration over here to help evenly distribute things. May have to be changed. Okay, so I believe now... finally, we actually have all the products needed for Science 1 and Science 2, which is good. So, Science 1 takes copper plates and iron gear wheels. Science 2 takes transport belts and inserters. So, I think I'll have one of these on each side. And we're going to likely need a lot of science. So let's make 8 of these for now. 6, 7, 8. 4 for each side. Clear out some of this wood here, so I can finally get to sciencing. Okay. Gonna give myself a little bit of room at least. That should work. Let me try something here. Okay, this is going to be our Science 2 side, which is transport belts and inserters. Science 2. Transport belts and inserters. So, in the past, to try to make these optimal, I have been using, you know, fast inserters with a close arrangement. But I'm kind of thinking that may not be a smart decision now, because of the unevenness of how these are being pulled in. So what if I did something like this? Grab a couple more of these long-handed inserters. What if I did something like this? What were these again? Ah, yes. Transport belts, inserters. Okay, let's get this. Let's get these at least positioned so I know where I'm standing here. Don't need a burner mining drill anymore. There we go. This will go like that. This comes up here, and we're going to need a lot more of these, and I need some lights because it's very dark in here. There we go. I can see. I can see. You guys at home can see. Arguably more important than me seeing. So I at least kind of know what I'm doing. Especially for the setup as they are right now. I think these long-handed inserters will work just fine. Just fine. So continuing the bus along here. There we go. And then I think I'm just going to continue that over here with some more of these. More of these lovely, lovely devices. And we're just going to do the same thing, essentially, except reversed to make sure it stays even. There we are. And there we go. There we go. Yeah. I think that'll work, especially considering how long it actually takes to make these. Like the bottleneck isn't even the inserters here, especially here. It's not the bottleneck. It's not even close to a bottleneck. So, actually, we are going to take even further advantage of this by putting our output lines right here, because there is room to do so. And underneath this, underneath that. And there we go. Beautiful. Well, I do kind of wish they were placing them on the opposite sides. That would make it arguably a little easier to do. But it should be fine. Okay. Yeah, that should be fine. Clear out some of this stuff. I'm going to make my science area right here, just because I like it. Cool little by the seaside science area, I suppose. Clean up all these things. How much do I... Holy bejesus, that's a lot of stuff. Okay, it's time to move some product around, shall we? Let's drop some iron chests here. And I do believe if a monster comes by and punches your stuff in the face with their dirty paws, that they actually will destroy all of the contents of the chest of whatever they destroyed with their dirty, filthy paws. So, what I need to do is make sure that I guard what little bit of resources that I have with some chests surrounded by a wall. So at the worst, at least I have a little bit of time to hopefully say, hey, don't do that. I need those things for building and whatnot. Can I actually make walls yet? Have I researched wall technology? I have not researched advanced wall technology. Very super important stuff. Here's the question, though. Where the hell is the wall technology? There it is, right in front of my face. Oh, psh, only need 10. I only need 10 science units for that. Well, let's science 10 science units very quickly, since I happen to have 10 science units on me. We'll start dropping some of this garbage off. There we go. And some of this iron and such. So glad you can just pull masses of things in one fell swoop. It is very handy, let me tell you. Guess I can do separate ones here. And in the interest of being able to actually craft things on the fly, I will do that. Walls are on their way. And I suppose I can make the other part of the sciencing tech over here. And that was... what were the materials required for this? That was these two. And I think the other one is just a copper plate and a... where are we? Yeah, copper plate and an iron gear wheel. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. So we will split these in a similar fashion to what we have already splitted. Splitterino. And the copper gear right there. Or the iron gear, rather. Okay, and like this. And I'm gonna need some more underground belts. I love the smell of science in the morning, don't you? Don't you guys just really thoroughly enjoy the smell of science? Because I do. Alright, stone walls done. Let us craft some, please. There they are. Wow, takes 5 each, huh? Rough. Brutal. Thought I was smelting enough. Turns out I really wasn't. Well, I've got a few of them. At least. Let's go over to my deposit of stone. I have been mining a good chunk of it over this way. So I will go retrieve that. Actually, this is probably the most dangerous thing sitting around here, is this plethora of stone. Because if I remember right, there's not a lot of stone around the map here, so that'd be rather disastrous. Some bugs came by and said, "Hey, I like eating rocks. I have a cousin Goron who just loves eating rocks, and he showed me that I should appreciate them as well." And then I have no more rocks, and I'm a sad panda. So I'll let a couple more of those cook. Seems like a plan to me. Okay. Back to operation, get some stuff done. That is, of course, the formal name. There we are. I'm going to strategically leave this a little open, specifically for certain reasons that will become apparent much in the near future. So it may seem kind of silly to continue to carry some of these on the series here, but I know for a fact that inserters are used quite often in a lot of later crafts, as well as the transport belts, which are primarily used to make the higher tier transport belts. So retaining these guys with a presence on this is actually quite sensical. As much as I enjoy being silly, it's actually quite sensical. Very reasonable thing for somebody to do. Okay, we've deviated over here. Let's see if I can't assemble a similar setup to this, but on the other side. Whoop. Like this, I think, right? Give myself two. Yes, give myself two. 2 units of distance. We're going to need more of those. I believe these have a very similar construction time, which should alleviate any potential problems of temporal logistics, as it were. Hopefully. Meaning that they will be consumed at a reasonably even rate. There we go. Pulling all the materials, and here we will be returning them into the system. Correct? Yes. Okay. Likewise here and here. And then we are using these for power, which is a very nice spot to place those. And then do you see this right here? Oh, look at that. I can carry the power across the middle right there. Oh, yeah. So now those are all powered. We will need to continue these. Did I have to interrupt the central belts? I sure didn't. Look at me. Being all cool and industrious and sense-making and such. And these will be red sciences. Red sciences for all. And these are going to be moving this way to the right, so that they may meet up with the green sciences. So, what are we doing here? Let's see. I need to do that and that, and this and this. And then I also need to do... There we go. So we're weaving these underground, each little section. Works quite well. And now, as if I had planned it this way, not that I would have ever done that. Let's, why am I building these things like some sort of horrible peasant? No offense to anybody who is a peasant, but I'm the only guy on this planet. I'm sitting there making these things by hand. Like, what is my major malfunction here? What's going on? A little bit of underground crossing here. There we go. So this is a slight deviation from what I had originally planned, but the reason I'm doing this will be apparent much, much later in the lifetime of this playthrough. Much later. Has to do with what I'm going to be doing when Science 3 and 4 decide to rear their ugly heads. This will make this significantly easier. Where is the stone? There. Where are the stone walls? Said Cilantro, haltingly speaking, like some weirdo. Let's burn some more. Burn all of them. And now to simply do the same thing I did right there. And we will need a large amount of these. Should probably be automating even these things. I'm going to just start creating simple side sections just for commonly used like sub-materials and so on. Like seriously. There we go. And we need some more lights. Seems like a pretty reasonable spot for one. And then this will continue here. Whoops, what did I do? I made a mistake. There we go. And just for the fun of it, let's put a light there. There we go. So, whoops, those are all bunched up together. But now we should be producing science. Hopefully at a very even rate. I will likely need large quantities more of science than what I'm already producing. But so be it. So be it. Alright, that's good enough for me. I'll just finish clearing this out. This episode's probably gone way too long. But I don't care. It's my series. I'll do what the heck I want to do. Darn it. How about I make some more bricks? Make some more stone walls, rather. Because I'm not a fan of losing all of my material to some horrible bug monsters. So there we go. Minor little security feature, but hopefully it'll help. Okay. Let's build a few more of these labs. Three, 6, 9, 10 or so. Whoa. Wants me to research new technology. Yeah, you know what? Logistics 2 would be fantastic. I would love that. I would very much enjoy that. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Come on. And then we're going to need this right here. Whoa. I in fact, sorry game, I in fact do not want that many. In fact, why am I making them like some sort of horrible peasant again? I have automation for this. Nom, 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 nom. I have massive quantities of automation, and I'm continuing to make things like a horrible peasant. Sorry, I really do not mean to offend any peasants around here. You know, it's not very nice. So this is, again, layout in the interest of having a much larger sciencing array at some point, with a bunch more of these bad boys, and a larger quantity of other conveyors coming through here. Because boy, will we need them. There's always sciencing to be done. Yep. There we go. Yeah, see, these are relatively slow. Oop. So I think for my final act of this episode, going way too long, I'm going to increase the output of my science-making factories just a little bit. We're going to increase them just slightly. And by that I mean we're going to double them. So we need here and here, here and here. Very happy I was able to get these compact into this sort of form. Makes me very happy. There we go. And then I'm going to need a large quantity of these as well. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. Love the music for this game. They've been saying, the devs have been saying that they're actually going to be updating their soundtrack for the game, which normally I would welcome, but honestly, I'm going to really miss this music. They say they're not happy with it. I say bollocks. I say nonsense. I think the only way you would be unhappy with this music is if you took things far too seriously. We're doing alright. I think we're doing quite well here, actually. Yes, yes we are. Produce me all of that science, all that beautiful science. And then same thing over here. I unfortunately did not leave myself a ton of room, but I know for a fact that it's extremely difficult to even sustain 8 of these assembly machines, and it looks like I'm actually taxing my electricity again, unsurprisingly, so I'm going to have to expand the electric grid. Likewise, our pollution production is going to be going through the roof. So I'm going to have to be exceedingly cautious about that, because that could get scary very quickly. There we go. And there we go. And then here, 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 and here. And we're going to need some of these to actually output the final product. And then we're going to need some of these to actually bring in some input products. And I think we're good now. We are getting a little bit of a disparity because we are out of those. Wow, we are completely out. I think I'm going to need to expand the production of these by about 500 trillion times, in addition to upping my iron production by about 500 trillion times, in addition to upping my iron mining about 500 trillion times. But that's going to have to wait for another episode of Factorio. Thanks for watching, everybody.